Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kadash, the bonds of the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching us this truth. Peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Honey Father named Hebrew, by Hashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back in our lesson, and as seen in the title, Civil War is brewing. Going to be diving into a situation dealing with Texas versus the government. As you've now seen, I believe over 25 states are pretty much joining hands with Texas and are against what the pretty much government has set in stone, or their decisions that they are making, which I'm about to get in the videos right here just to get the information at hand. And the Lord's lesson will be edifying and to the point, because things are happening, things are going down, and it's about to pick up even more. So we're going to get these videos out the way, and we'll get skip to the hand.
The situation happening between Greg Abbott in Texas versus the federal government at the southern border is something that everyone needs to know about. Recently, Greg Abbott has ordered that more barbed wire be added where people were coming over illegally from Mexico, and the federal government has tried to step in and stop it. And now this made it all the way to the Supreme Court the other day, where the Supreme Court did not necessarily say that Texas had to do anything, but did give President Joe Biden the ability to do something. This has led Governor Greg Abbott to not listen to anything the Supreme Court said, and he's actually doubled down and added even more barbed wire to the southern border over the few days. Now this is...
And now you have other states pretty much joining along with that.
Had Joe Biden...
Which is going to cause, a split, a divide, which is biblical prophecy. Going to Isaiah 19:2, Egyptians against the Egyptians. Also many other scriptures going to, Satan be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? So you're seeing prophecy playing out right before your very eyes, man.
Give Greg Abbott in Texas a deadline of Friday, tomorrow, to allow the Border Patrol access to Eagle Pass, Texas, so they can remove the razor wire. Now, this has caused 25 other states in America to come behind Greg Abbott and give them their full support to stand up against Joe Biden and the federal government. This has caused some Democrats, even this one from Texas, to say that if Greg Abbott is defying yesterday's Supreme Court ruling, the president needs to establish sole federal control of the Texas National Guard. This is turning into a very scary situation that might come to a head tomorrow, so I want to know from you guys, which side are you on? Greg Abbott and the other 25 states to protect the southern border, or Joe Biden and the federal government to remove the Texas National Guard and allow the southern border to be wide open? The situation...
Hey, it's going down, man. Kol Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. This is beautiful. This is exciting. We want these things to happen, man. Because guess what? Prophecy needs to be fulfilled in order for the kingdom to be established. In order for our Lord Yahweh Shai to return, these things need to take place. Those steps need to be taken. And we're just in the beginning of this year, man. Let's continue on. As the government, Abbott is about to close the Texas border.
Look, all the nigga blow is gas. I be smoking like a train. Buka money in my pockets, you know I can make it rain.
There's that. See what the comments have to say. People standing with them. Now you have people disagreeing. So what's it's going to cause a divide, a split. And you're seeing over 25 states, agreeing with what Texas is doing, giving their full support.
The standoff between Texas and the US government is only getting more intense, because now the governors of 25 Republican states have released a joint statement.
And once again, this goes to show the times that we are coming in. And I spoke a little bit on this going to my latest lesson, going to the situation that happened with the migrants and all that, crossing over the invasion that's going on. And also spoke a little bit on this right here, which I was going to make a part 2, but dive into it right now. Because things are happening, man. Things are going down. So those that don't take heed to these warnings and get right and seek out the Lord, this is what you're about to be caught in the midst of, man. You're about to see a whole lot of civil unrest, man. A civil war is brewing right before your very eyes.
Supporting Texas's decision to ignore the federal government and take matters into their own hands to protect their borders. Donald Trump then commented on the situation, urging other states that support Texas to deploy their guards to the state and start removing those individuals who entered illegally. Now, as of yet, there hasn't been an official response by the Biden administration, which is expected, because how they react to this needs to be carefully thought out, or things could go very wrong very quick. However, there there are currently several Democrats that are urging the president to take a tougher stance against Texas. Things are developing very quickly.
So hey, there you go. You're seeing that divide, that split. People agreeing with Biden and the government, and people agreeing with Texas. So you're going to see that friction continue to build.
So of course, I'll keep you guys updated.
The U.S. government is on the brink of another civil war. On January 24th, Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared an invasion of the southern border, citing 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border in the past 2 years. In that declaration, he also mobilized the Texas National Guard, which is basically the military of Texas. The Texas National Guard then put up barbed wire around U.S. border hotspots, hoping to deter the people from crossing into the U.S. And the U.S. government did not like that, accusing the Texas government of overstepping its boundaries. The Biden administration then took the matter to the Supreme Court, which ruled in the favor of the U.S., citing that Texas had indeed overstepped its boundaries, stating that the U.S. and its federal agents had the right to remove the wire. After the U.S. federal agents removed the razor wire, Texas Governor Greg Abbott then issued the invasion statement. He basically accused the U.S. president of failing his sworn duty of protecting the people of the United States. So he has decided to take matters into his own hands. The Texas National Guard has returned to laying more razor wire, and happening right now, there is currently a standoff between the Texas National Guard and U.S. officials. This comes just a few years after Texas laws were introduced to leave the U.S. We haven't seen anything like this since the Civil War, which is exactly why the U.S.
This map could be the...
And it's about to go down once again. So to get a little bit more videos, probably going to skim through them. Probably get one more after this.
next civil war. Because if you don't know, Border Patrol right now in Texas decided they were going to put up razors around the border of Texas, and the Biden administration said, nah fam, that's inhumane, you can't be doing that. To which Texas Border Patrol basically said, nah fam, I'm gonna do me. So that leads us to today, where the Biden administration is now threatening military action against Texas. So you remember this map that I showed you? These are all the people that stand with Texas, and if you count all of them, there's 25. There's 50 states in the US, that's directly in half. And now
there you go, that split, the divide.
Now, about 10 of those states just set more National Guards, along with Robert F. Kennedy's cosign on what Texas is doing right now. To which leads me
So Yahweh Shemel Shai is stirring that pot.
to what I've been saying for such a long time. As the next generation, and everyone keeps telling me I need to vote because
The state officially declared an invasion on the southern border. Greg Abbott is invoking Texas's constitutional authority to self-defense.
The authors of the Constitution knew there would be times when the federal government would not live up to its duty. And so they empowered states in Article 1, Section 10, the right of self-defense. The Biden administration has really, truly abdicated its responsibility to secure the border and enforce the laws. Texas has a right as a state to stop criminals from coming into our state, to make arrests of those criminals.
The Texas National Guard is erecting more razor fencing. The Supreme Court had ruled the federal government had the right to cut the fence.
All right, there you go. Probably one more. So let's put it on that right there. Now we'll get to the scriptures. There's Isaiah 19:2, which is one of the main points. Now it said, "Now set the Egyptians against the Egyptians," and this is what we are seeing. This divide, this split that's taking place right before your very eyes, which is prophecy. As the apostles and elders on down have been saying, through the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem El Shai, that these things would happen. And what did people say? They mocked, they scoffed, called us crazy, and all these different things. And what do you know? Look at what's taking place right in front of you, man. Especially dealing with this certain strategy that these devils are doing, which affects the exact same. I brought it up in my lesson yesterday. Yeah, right here, Brakta Shai. The cloudward pivot strategy is what you're seeing playing out right before your face, right before your eyes. Also, another sin, going to order out of chaos. You don't like to cause these problems, all this commotion, to then bring in order, to, tighten that grip, that squeeze, which been reads real quick, which is a great point, which I got from one of the brothers' videos where you had a brother comment this. The cloudward pivot strategy is a political strategy outlined in 1966 by American sociologist and political activist Richard Cloward and Francis Fox Piven. It is the strategy of forcing political change leading to societal collapse through orchestrated crisis. Now, so the cloudward pivot strategy seeks to hasten the fall of capitalism by overloading the government bureaucracy with a flood of impossible demands. And you're seeing how many people are coming over and are invading this place, and you're seeing the resources that's being given and being used in order to house, to feed, and to pretty much aid them. And a lot of people are disagreeing with it, or not aligning with what the orders are being given, And that's where you're seeing that split taking place as we speak. Also go into another point which I made in my other lesson, go into that situation that you see taking place at these borders and the amount of people that's crossing over, this invasion that you are seeing. A lot of them are soldiers in disguise and will be the ones to be mowing down and laying those rounds into people coming to times of Jacob's trouble. Because you have many soldiers here in America that are, so-called patriotic and may not want to be the ones to be, doing that or comfortable with doing so. So who do you think is going to be, filling in those spots, man, those roles? And you already see, how these heathen nations feel against the American people. Brothers having testimonies of seeing people look out of place. Things are getting ready to go down, man. Which also many of us have spoke on and went into. So I definitely recommend watching those lessons because these are things that are getting ready to go down. As you already seen this civil war that's brewing right before your very eyes, a lot of things are happening. But let's finish this off right here. Read a little bit from on top. The cloudward pivot strategy seeks to hasten the fall of capitalism by overloading the government bureaucracy with a flood of impossible demands, amassing massive unpayable national debt. And you're seeing the amount of money Biden has spent and given to Ukraine and the amount of resources that he was once again using, the amount of food he's given, also the housing, which is using hotels, schools, whatever the case may be. So you see a lot of people not agreeing with it, but you're seeing the amount of also damage this will cause. Because you already see a famine brewing also. So you see him overloading this system. Once again, order out of chaos. He's over causing all these problems, all this commotion. So they can bring about that order. So once things start to go down, they can, establish that order. Coming down with that great wrath, tightening that grip, implementing harsh restrictions, so they can be so-called justified in doing so. Once you start laying rounds into people, what can you want? Now it says, and other methods such as unfettered immigration, thus pushing society into crisis and economic collapse by overwhelming the system. And these are things that you are seeing taking place. So let's sit on that. Let's get these scriptures, which we already got Isaiah 92, which if I didn't read it or finished off already. And I'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, which you also go into in the scriptures, Revelations 11 and 8, if I'm correct. Going to America, aka Babylon Great, is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, which we were speaking of. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And you're already seeing 25 states standing with Texas. And so you're already seeing this divide taking place. You have people on Twitter standing with Biden and against with what Texas is doing. So this is brewing right before your very eyes, man. Things are happening. How many times have we got to say this? You have been warned. Matthew 12 and 26, down to that point. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So going to show this place is crumbling. This place is coming to an end. You're seeing end time prophecy playing out. And this is also a terrible sign for a nation, a kingdom. When your people is divided against itself, and you're seeing 25 states against with what you're doing. So it's going to show this place is spiraling down the drain, man. And it's beautiful. Mark 3 and 25, and if house be, down to that point, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And you're seeing this place is literally on its last legs. And Brak the Howl, Brak the Howl, Brak the Howl shy. You know, we want these things to happen. We're praying for these things to happen. You know, and you have people call us crazy. Why would you want that to happen? Why would you want this place to fall? Because this ain't our rest. This ain't our kingdom, man. And Yahweh Shemashah is going to destroy this place, and you're seeing it. By the way, these signs that the Lord is showing us, the prophecy that's playing out. You know, that's how we measure the times that we're in, by the way, these signs and these prophecies, man. We're near the end of this place. 2nd Ezra 15:15-17 to add to that point. For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And you also see that new movie that's coming out, which I don't know the exact date, which is coming, but they released a trailer for it called Civil War. You know, so I mean, come on, you're seeing the spirit being pushed to that. And what do you know? You see the situation take place with Texas, with the standoff against, you know, Biden, the government. And the swords being those guns. Verse 16, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another should not regard their kings nor princes, and the courts of action shall stand in their power. The kings and princes being the people that are in authority, you know, that hold, you know, that power. And the courts of action shall stand in their power. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into the city, shall not be able, as you see Texas closing off the borders that we saw in that video.
This map could be the
U.S.
Look, all a nigga blow is gas. I be smoking like a train. Buka money in my pockets, you know I can make it rain.
I mean, come on. One more time, a man shall desire to go into the city, shall not be able, especially when these doubles, you know, start to implement these lockdowns, declaring martial law, implementing curfews, whatever the case may be. These are the type of times that we are coming into and warning you of. Now, we got that right there. Got a few more scriptures, and that's going to be the lesson. It is 2nd Ezra 9:1-4. He answered me then and said, measure all the time diligently, and itself how to measure times that we are in by the way signs and these prophecies. We should also get Matthew 24:3-8, Luke 21, 2nd Ezra. Many scriptures go into the signs and the prophecies that we would see that would take place before our Lord Yahushua will return. We're in the end times, man. And we now see part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, then shalt thou understand that at the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3. Therefore, we're going to be seeing earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Is what we're seeing now. This divide, this split that's taking place. Most of those 25 states joining and standing with Texas. And you're seeing, you know, Biden planning to bring, you know, forces over there, you know, troops. So, I mean, come on. It's about to get a lot worse. Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days before thee, even from the beginning. So you're seeing prophecy taking place and playing out, man. Habakkuk 10:3 to also bring that point home. For the vision is yet for like real time. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Was the vision speaking of prophecy? We are in those appointed times as written, spoken of in the scriptures, showing you we're at the end stages of this movie, man. And we have been given the script, and we are warning you of what's going to take place. As I made a lesson, I believe a couple weeks ago, if not a few months ago, going to how we have the spoilers, or we're giving you the spoilers to this movie. And we have the script. We're telling you what's getting ready to go down, what's getting ready to take place. And those that don't take these warnings serious, you better be caught in the midst of all of it, man. Can you see how people today will see certain, you know, spoilers of movies and they, you know, don't want to believe it. You know, they don't want to, you know, take it serious. Well, hey, if you don't take it serious with this, you're going to be destroyed, man. Ezekiel 33:33, you're going to know the prophet has been among you, warning you. All these coming times, what's getting ready to go down. What's going to happen? You know? You know, I was trying to make a little analogy. But if the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely come, it will not tarry, meaning will not delay. So these things will happen and will come to pass, man. So you should be taking this time now, while we're still within this grace period, to get right, to repent, to seek out the Lord. Because Yahweh Shemashah is the one stirring this pot. He's the one orchestrating and doing all these things. Matthew 24:8. That says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. We're just in the beginning of this stuff, man. Of what's getting ready to take place. And if you thought the years before were something crazy, you have seen nothing yet. You know, because even when year 2020, you know, when that happened, you see how, you know, people thought that was the worst year ever. Like, I can't wait for next year. Got worse. Same thing with the other year, you know, and now it's only picking up. You know, going into that snowball effect. Is it going to continue to grow and get worse? Now, to shut it down with Ecclesiastes 5:7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. Make no delay. You should be speedily, urgently seeking out the Lord, getting right, getting this truth while you still can, while it's still hot, you know? Now, to make no tarrying to turn to the Lord and put off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. That's why you have a lot of people be, you know, so-called caught lacking. In reality, a lot of them have been warned. But that's why it's going to bless is he that watcheth. Also, you know, the scripture going to 2 Peter 3:10, if not 3:9, going to how the Lord's going to be a thief in the night. Unexpected, those are not paying attention, those are not preparing. For the sun shall the wrath of the Lord come forth in thy security. Just when you think you're safe, just when you think you're protected, thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Especially with everything that's taking place, dealing with the plagues, the pestilences, the judgments, a civil war brewing right before your very eyes. It's getting ready to go down, man. So many things are happening. Prophecy is speaking for itself, man. And starting with the apostles and elders on down at Great Millstone have been warning you of what's to come, as well as like-minded brothers that, you know, follow and teach the same doctrine. We've been warning you of this, man. But people call it crazy. They mocked. They scoffed. Not taking these warnings serious. But then they realized too late. So that's pretty much it on that. You know, I was wanting to, you know, dive into that situation, deal with Texas. I was wanting to, you know, dive a little more into it, dealing, you know, with the information. Because I spoke a little bit on in my, you know, latest lesson. But I was wanting to get more information so I can, you know, make a lesson, you know, diving into it. Because it is going down, man. You're seeing that standoff that's taking place with the government in Texas, as well as these other states standing along with Texas, over 25 of them. So we're going to see, you know, how this plays out, you know, and what may come from it. And we're warning you and telling you of, you know, what's getting ready to go down and how this could possibly lead into a full-on civil war. You know? So that's pretty much on that. Lord is edifying to the point. I do to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Allah, Shai, by Shem Kakadash, the ones the apostles, and all great millstone for teaching us truth, peace, and blessings to the hopeful collective Israel, and Shalom, Central One.